and then 28-68. So while you sit there and go, them moving on from Micah Parsons is in many ways, football-wise, making your football team a lesser unit and therefore less competitive. But there's a financial reality of if they trade them, what would be the cap hit and how much can they get back in regards to Dak Prescott? There's a no-trade clause, I believe, still that he has to sign off for. So, because, like, and this is why, Cam, as much, like, when you say Dallas won the trade, the only way that Dallas truly wins this trade is if they use what they got to go start a new run, a real new run. And the only way that happens is a new young quarterback. Because the financial commitment that they have to Dak and CD is what it is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It is what it is. And so the only way to do that is to go get a new young cheap quarterback that is a superstar. And everyone's going to go Arch Manning. You ain't getting him at 30 where your pick is going to be or at 28. And so it feels that way football sense-wise, but there's a salary and numbers-wise that you just sit there and go, they are just in a very, very financially tough situation in the next 2 or 3 seasons.
Go ahead, Cam. I'll let you go
I'll say
before I
something
chime in.
real quick. And it's funny. Yeah, it's funny how history, repeats itself. We've seen this happen for both franchises. The Dallas Cowboys with the Herschel Walker trade, right? And then you have the Green Bay situation where they acquire a guy like Reggie White, right? I think when you say who really won, only time will tell realistically on both sides here. So when I'm looking at a Dallas situation, you can pretty much get, worst case scenario, you can get a new quarterback. Because what are you willing to offer him? You can offer up to 4 draft picks to get a franchise quarterback with that situation. And that's why I will be fearful if I'm Dak Prescott, right? Because if you do not play well, then you're pretty much going to be disposable for anybody else to be acquired for Dallas.
I just want to say to America, I think this conversation is very, very cute. I really, really do. It really, really is. It touches me. It really, really does. What Dak era? What era?
Nah, don't be.
What era? Did we just not, I'm sorry, Dan, did you just not sit on national television and say that Micah Parsons was the best player in the franchise?
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he's the best player, right? So he was there over the last 4 or 5 years, right? Last 4 years. He wasn't even the best player on the team. I know that he got the highest salary. You understand? I mean, do you know, Cam, that the first 4 years of Dak Prescott's career, the brother didn't miss a damn game and made close to $5 million. But since that time, he's missed nearly 40% of his games, and he's collected over $260 million. This is what we're talking about with Dak Prescott here. It takes, and you would know, sir, Cam, because you played in the Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? Y'all had the #1 seed, right? Correct me if my math, because I want to make sure my math is a math, all right? I just want to make sure that I'm clear. Don't you have to win a divisional playoff game and a conference championship game to get to the Super Bowl? That's 2, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you're a wild card team, ain't it 3?
Yes, sir.
Before to get to the Super Bowl, right? This brother is entering his 10th year. He got a total of 2 playoff wins. Dak Prescott era? What era? It's the Jerry Jones era. Let me tell you why it's the Jerry Jones era right here, okay? And I know we got to get ready to go to break, but damn it to the producers, hold on. I got something to say. Now, I got some numbers here, right? Do y'all know, Dallas is worth $13 billion, right? Yes. $2.5 billion more than the second place team, the Los Angeles Rams, right? Cowboys are the NFL's most valuable team for the 19th straight year. Oh, by the way, they collected $800 million in purely local revenue just last year. Did you know that?
I did not.
This is the truth, right? Oh, by the way, estimated revenue, $1.2 billion in 2024, almost $500 million more than any other team. And oh, by the way, last but not least, operating income of $630 million. Dallas made more in profits than 19 teams made in total revenue last year. Big Cam, this is who we talking about. So if it ain't Micah, then it's Jerry. What? Dak Prescott era. What era? What is it? You tell me I just gave you facts.
Okay.
I gave you facts.
All right.
Okay. Now he's 30 games over 500. as a starting quarterback.
That's an error.
During the regular season.
There's an error
During
to
the
that.
regular season. 2 playoff victories, though. I'm sorry. Is it just me?
So, Dan, you're saying
me?
it's the beginning of the end of the Dak era, and Stephen A. still waiting for the Dak era to start.
Come on, Dan.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Just
I mean,
want
they
to
won,
make sure we're all
as
clear.
many games as anybody in the regular season. For 3 years.
You know what? Yeah,
The regular season award?
guys-
Is that what we're doing now?
Never hand, Molly, right?
I know.
Yeah, the
That's what
Dallas
we're doing
Cowboys
now.
are going to be a threat. There's only about 7 or 8
In the
teams
regular
better than them.
season. All right, we got to leave it there. Coming up.
He has been covering the Packers for us forever. Rob, take us through this from the Packers side of this. How did this all come together?
Greeny, this all began one day when Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst walked into Matt LaFleur's office and asked his head coach, would you want Micah Parsons? Matt LaFleur said, well, of course. But even as they went through the process, I was told that the Packers thought that there was no way or very little chance that Jerry Jones would actually part ways with a star player in the prime of his career like Micah Parsons. And this also wasn't just a trade deal, as you know. It was a trade and a contract, so it took quite a while. But it does go along with what appears to be, Greeny, a more aggressive approach to this team. I want to take you back to the draft. In April, when they drafted Matthew Golden, the receiver, they hadn't drafted a receiver in the first round in 21 years. Even before that, January 16th, 4 days after the Packers lost to the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoff game, Brian Gutekunst stood in front of us and said, it's time we start competing for championships. There's also one other factor here, and it's the Ed policy factor. He's the new Packers president, took over this year, and he talked to us for the first time, and we asked him about the contracts of both Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. Those contracts run through 2026, so this season and next season. He told us that he's not going to extend their contracts right away, but he also doesn't believe in lame duck years, which was left unsaid was the fact that this is a critical year for both of those guys. But it's also possible that there's another Ed policy factor and that he's encouraging them to be more aggressive in the way they approach this season.
And so clearly they have done that. You can imagine Aaron Rodgers is sitting there looking at this saying, where was all of this when I was the MVP of the league? Very quickly, Rob, because I follow you on the Twitter X, and you were asking Packers players and their general manager about Micah Parsons. I want to say it was Tuesday of several days ago this week. So you had some inkling, obviously, that something here was brewing.
Yeah, it was right after the final cuts, and it just seemed like this was picking up steam as a possibility. And one of the